Hey everyone. Have you ever looked at your VA decision packet and wondered how 50 plus 50 plus 20 plus 20 somehow adds up to an 80% rating instead of 140? If you don't understand the exact percentage of a percentage math that raters use under federal law, you'll keep wasting time filling out, low value claims that do not move the needle by $1. And that is just going to leave money on the table, quite honestly. So here is the truth about what most people call VA math. The system doesn't add things together like a grocery bill. Instead, the rater operating underneath 38 CFR, right? That area that explains the combined ratings table, the core concept behind calculation isn't how disabled you are, but how much efficiency your body has remaining. When you enter the claim system, the VA views your body as a single whole piece of equipment operating at 100% baseline efficiency. Now, let's look at the operational map of how the calculation works. If a rater evaluates your records and awards you a 50% rating for a condition, that means 50% of your baseline efficiency is gone. You now have a remaining efficiency balance of exactly 50%. Now you get a second condition that also qualifies for a 50% rating. A normal addition, that would put you at 100, but that's not how the regulation works. The rater must take 50% of your remaining efficiency balance. 50% of 50 is 25. So the rater adds 25 to your initial 50, bringing your total structural impairment to 75%. Once the rater calculates that 75% figure, federal law requires them to round it up to the nearest multiple of 10. Because 75 sits exactly in the middle between 70 and 80, the system rounds it up to 80. That's how two 50% ratings leave you with an 80% combined rating on your master code sheet. Your remaining healthy efficiency has dropped from 100 down to 25 now because you have your 50, you have your 50% of 50, that's 75, boom, you have 25 left. Every single condition that you add at that point becomes a game of diminishing returns because the rater is pulling percentages from a smaller and smaller remainder. If you throw a 20% rating on top of that 80% baseline, the rater is not adding 20 to 80. They look at your remaining efficiency balance, which is only 20%. The rater takes 20% of that remaining 20% balance, which adds 4% to your overall score. Your total moves from 75 to 79. Same rounding rules, 79 rounds to 80. So you're still at 80% for a combined rating. The new condition that you filed for didn't add $1 to your monthly compensation. Down the road it might, but not today. This mathematical bottleneck is exactly why so many veterans find themselves completely stuck at 80 or 90%. They keep filing small, individual claims for minor issues, hoping that the sheer volume of paperwork will cross the finish line. But if you're sitting at 90% combined, your remaining efficiency balance is 10%. To push a 90% rating up to 95, so the system rounds you to 100, you need a brand new, standalone 50% rating or a massive cluster of connected secondary conditions just to even chip away at the remaining block of 10%. It's frustrating. So to break through this wall, you have to shift your strategy away from filing random disjointed claims and start evaluating your health through structural combinations. The system is designed to reward veterans who understand how high value primary ratings interact with their secondary physical side effects. Because those elements stack together before the master calculation takes a bite out of your remaining balance. Let's take a look at a good tactical strategy that you could execute right now to get through these calculation rules, right? Step 1, execute a rigorous manual audit of your master code sheet. Do not rely on the broad percentage number shown on your main portal dashboard. Pull your actual rating sheets. List every single diagnostic code from the highest percentage down to the lowest, because that's the exact sequence the VA raters use when they run your file through the combined table. Identifying your highest weighted primary anchor condition gives you the definitive baseline to see where your remaining efficiency is actually being spent. Step 2 is targeting high value secondary thresholds rather than minor isolated symptoms. If you need to move your combined rating across a rounding bracket, focus your medical energy on fully documenting comprehensive secondary conditions that carry structural weight, like severe nerve issues, physical joint limitations, or significant, respiratory blockages, right? Securing an official medical diagnosis for a condition that carries a standard 30 or 50% rating path, that's the only way to impact the master equation when your remaining efficiency balance is super low. Step 3 is mapping your physical impairments using measurable, objective data in your personal statements. When you fill out your statement in support of a claim, do not use vague language like, "My joints hurt worse than they used to." Raters cannot calculate a mathematical value based on an emotional description. Instead, give the rater concrete, measurable metrics that align with the rating criteria. Detail exactly how many minutes you can stand before your ankles lock up, or the specific distance you can walk before your knee flares up, or the exact number of days per week that your mobility is completely restricted. Step 4 is verifying that the rater accurately applied the bilateral factor to your calculations. If you have service-connected disabilities that affect both your arms or both your legs, the regulations require the rater to group those extremity elements together first, calculate their value, and apply an automatic 10% bonus to that subtotal before combining it with the rest of your body. This bilateral bonus is missed by overworked raters a lot. Not all the time, but a lot. And catching a calculation error on your code sheet, that can instantly provide the rounding edge that you need to move your percentages up. When you can master the operational rules of the combined ratings table, you're going to stop wasting energy on claims that have zero impact on your financial baseline. You end up mapping out your medical evidence with total precision. You force the system to calculate your full body impairment accurately, and you'll protect your family's long-term security with a clear plan moving forward. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me get the word out to other veterans. I preach that all the time. If you made it to the end of the video, you're awesome. Consider being a member if you want to support me financially. I do not get paid by affiliates. I do not get paid by any other company for sponsorships. So this is it, folks. Keep on trucking through the system. Take care of one another. I'll see you in the next one.